What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the Rearview Mirror UFC Fight Night 111 post-fight show. My name is Flyin Brian J. Thank you so much for joining me. So if this is your first time here, what I want you to do below me is grade the card from A to F. The only options are A, C, and F, so choose one of those using an emoji. I'm going to give you my grade. We're going to go over the fights, starting at the top, working to the bottom, going over some techniques used, how the fighters won, how the picks went. So before I get into all that stuff, I want to remind you that you can listen to this audio only later, about an hour after the show is over. I will post it to our podcast feed, and you can listen to just the audio on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Podcast Addict, iVoodoo, Player FM. Gosh, anywhere you can think about getting a podcast, we are there, so please subscribe. That would help me out a lot. So what just happened? Well, let's give my grade first. I was trending toward giving the card a D, and then right at the end, when I'm thinking about this card sucks, main card's horrible, Holm knocks out Bethe Correia in the third round with a question mark kick. Whoo, man. But right up until that, almost nothing happened. So for the first two rounds, the fighters came out. A couple of times the referee, Mark Goddard, told them to engage. He stopped me, warned them for timidity, and he said, do the damn thing. I know you guys got some game plans, but we need you guys to fight a little bit. So fight did they. In the third round, quickly, normally I give a WTF of the card, a what the fuck of the card, something that made me annoyed, angry, just make me put my hands on my face. Tonight I'm not giving a WTF of the card. I'm giving a shouldn't have done that of the card, because right before Holm question mark kicked Bethe in the face, shin to the dome, Bethe called her on. She said, bring it on. Holly brought it on. Question mark kick where she brought her knee up kind of toward the midsection of Bethe, but then whipped her lower leg around, spam, right on her head. She sat down immediately with her hands down, and you could see in her eyes she was not with it, completely out of it. And then Holly came with one more, I believe it was a right hand that finished the whole deal. So Holm, she returns, well, she finally ends her losing streak. She was 0-3 coming into this since winning the title against Ronda Rousey. She comes in, and Dan Hardy said it was the return of the Ronda Rousey kick. Not so much. Similar. See, the kick that she knocked out Ronda Rousey with, it was a left kick, but it was a roundhouse kick, a left roundhouse to the face. This was a question mark, a little bit more intricate, whatever. Same thing. Shin to the face, so she returns into the winning column. What is next for Holm? Well, she said that she doesn't know what's next. She just wants to enjoy this victory. It was the first time she was able to do her backflip like she does in the octagon, where her coach, Mike Winklejohn, puts his hands together and she steps in it and she does the backflip. First time she was able to do that in over a year and a half, so she just wants to go home and enjoy this without calling anybody out, without saying what's next for her. But let me look at the rankings quick, and we can see what we think is next for her. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Adam Warren says Bethe is an absolute joke. Christopher Flint says these highlights will forever be on When Taunting Goes Wrong YouTube videos. Christopher, that was my first thought as well. I love those videos. They're so hilarious. Bring it on, and then boop, knocked out immediately after. And I don't know why she was doing that. It's not like she was doing well up to that point. So if you look at UFC.com, you can see the stats. Final stats for significant strikes landed in round 1 were 7 for Holly, 5 for Bethe. Round 2, 12 for Holly, 8 for Bethe. So it's not like she was doing good, or it's not like she needed her to come in. Bethe could have pushed forward, but I mean, the fight was just kind of shitty right up until it ended. Looking at the rankings in the women's bantamweight division, what is next for Holm? What has Kat Zingano got going on? She's got a fight coming up, right? Man, Kat's not doing anything. How about Kat Zingano versus Holm? I like it. That's what we're going with. Holm versus Kat Zingano. I think they're both on, well, Kat's on a losing streak. Maybe we give someone easier to Kat. All right, we're giving an easier opponent to Kat. We're not giving her Holm. Alexis Davis is coming off of a recent victory over Cindy Dandois. I say we give Holm to Alexis Davis. Yeah, we're going with that. She needs to fight Shevchenko again soon. If Shevchenko were to take the belt from Amanda Nunes, then I could see Holly Holm getting a title shot again. But I don't think we need to keep pushing Holly Holm into these title elimination fights. Do you know why she was the main event against Bethe Correia tonight? It's because, and Ariel Helwani tweeted this. I'm not getting the information from myself. Ariel tweeted that local TV in Singapore wanted Holly Holm because she's super popular there, and they love her hair. Her hair is super popular. That's one reason they wanted her in the main event. Anyway, the lady is a huge name. We don't need to put her in these fights that really make her dangerous to lose and ruin her rep. She still has a lot of hype around her because of that Ronda Rousey knockout. I'm sure that's why a lot of you are here in the first place. So we just keep putting her in fights that she can win, maybe co-main events, and she will just keep bringing eyes into the sport. So maybe that's what we do with her. I like the idea of giving her to Alexis Davis. They're on similar time frames. I don't think Alexis Davis is scheduled to go next, and that's what we're going to do. Juliana Pena, maybe. I feel like, even though I don't like Juliana Pena, I feel like that's too difficult of a fight. I'm liking my Alexis Davis thing. Anyway, Sarah McMahon versus Holm. I thought about that as well. That's a decent idea. Scott Macy. Wesley says, Brian, you nailed it. Renault rocked Correia in round 3. Almost finished. Holm with the kicks. Renault kicks. Got her in round 3. It was a right kick that Renault hit her with. But yeah, she's susceptible to those kicks. She holds her hands low. She walks forward, and then goading people on just is not the thing to do it. I think Kat has a featherweight fight coming up. Maybe Josh. Or Jason. Sorry, bro. Thanks for coming out. Amon Scott, check him out on Twitter. He won a bunch of money on bets tonight, so maybe he's doing the damn thing real nice. Anyway, so Holly Holm getting back in the win column. Good stuff. I almost did have a WTF of the card. I was going to give it. I forgot. It might come back to me. Anyway, moving down. Marcin Tybura versus Andrei Pitbull Arlovski. First round comes out. Andrei threw a low kick. Marcin took him to the ground. It was working ground and pound for a long time. Got into full mount and could hardly get ground and pound on him. Was just hitting him with these little baby hands. Andrei would roll to his side, and then Marcin would almost take his back, but then Andrei would come back and just kept playing this little game for the whole first round. And Marcin was trying to get him out of there, was really raining down on him, and just couldn't get Andrei out of there. So a little bit, Andrei's chin held up. And toward the end of that round, they got back to the feet, and Andrei was putting it on Marcin, and Marcin looked tired as fudge, right? Could hardly do anything. Then second round, and they did nothing. Neither fighter did a damn thing. I guess Andrei pushed Marcin against the fence, and they stayed there for a long time. Referee separated them, and then we just come back, and we're leaning on each other against the fence. More of that. Third round, Marcin presses forward. He gets Andrei against the fence, goes for... Derek Manning says, come on, really? Ruin her rep? These fighters fight to be champion? The question mark in the fight's what makes the fight. I don't want to see fights where the whole world knows the winner. Hell with that style of thinking. Yeah, no, man, I don't know. See, I don't think Holly Holm's ever going to be the champion. I don't think that she could beat Nunes. I don't think she's going to beat Shevchenko if they fight again. Shevchenko just has her number in stylistic matchup. So sure, if somebody gets to the top, that it's a favorable matchup for Holly, but I just don't think we need to keep pushing her. Like with Chris Weidman. We keep pushing him into these title and elimination fights, and it's not been working out for him. He's somebody who, he's a top name, he's a top athlete, but we keep putting him in these difficult fights, and it's not doing him any good. He's not able to progress as a fighter. He needs some time off to get better. Maybe raise your confidence level fight, and that's what we need for Holly Holm in her next one. Sure, she wins that convincingly, then we push her back into the title mix. But I don't think in her next fight we should give her a title elimination fight. Yeah, UFC was built on the best fight the best, but you can't just have you just can't put these people against the best person every single time if they're on a fallout. I mean, she's older. She needs some time to recuperate. She needs some time to have some confidence. You could see in her facial expressions tonight after the fight was over, or today, this morning, that she was just overwhelmed with emotion because she was finally got a victory. She needs some time to become confident again. And that's why I want to give her to Alexis Davis. Who will winning fighting now? Ain't good enough. Goodbye. State of the heavyweight division. Anyway, so Marcin Tybura gets Andrei down in the third round and holds him there. Works for a little bit of passing guard. Andrei looked to be able to switch position occasionally. Marcin was just held him there. Total significant strikes in the fight. 28 for Arlovski, 51 for Tybura. Tybura got a 29-28 basically across the board. See, the official results were 29-28, 28-27, 29-27. So I think Tybura got a 10-8 round in the first round on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Anyway, moving down. I got to get the fight card back. Tarec Saffiedine versus Rafael dos Anjos. This fight was pretty damn fun. So it came out right away. Early on, Saffiedine caught a kick from RDA. Got into the ground, was unable to do much. Tarec kept looking for an arm triangle choke, and you could tell that he was trying to set it up, but the commentators never spoke about it. He was getting his head off to the side. He was clasping his hands behind Dos Anjos' head, but Dos Anjos kept sliding his close hand in between those two, and then was able to get out of it. Eventually, Dos Anjos went for a Kimura, which was able to get him out of the bad predicament with Tarec going for the arm triangle choke, and then Dos Anjos was able to half guard out of there and then get back to his feet with and then as they exited, Dos Anjos went for a clinch, got Tarec with a knee, and then a lot of kickboxing happened from there on out. RDA was basically pressing forward the whole time. Tarec was unable to land much volume, was unable to keep Dos Anjos off of him. Tarec was able to negate some takedown attempts from RDA, but really the fight came down to Dos Anjos had more power. He also had more output than the Sponge and just pressed forward the whole time. I scored the fight 30-27 for the former UFC lightweight champion, successful in his welterweight debut. What is next for him? I was looking at the rankings earlier, and I like the idea of him fighting Neil Magny. And somebody asked me, is that getting him anywhere close to a title shot? Well, yeah. Neil Magny's the number 5 welterweight in the world. I don't like the idea of giving RDA to Santiago Ponzinibbio, Donald Cerrone versus Robbie Lawler. They're booked. I don't like the idea of giving RDA to Kamaru Usman. But he just beat the 11 guy in Tarec Saffiedine. He needs to move up. Carlos Condit, I don't know what's going on with him. I thought he retired. I don't know why he's still number 6. Neil Magny hasn't fought since December, and I don't know exactly why. But I like the idea of RDA versus Magny, and a little bit of it is because I know Magny has good wrestling. I know he has good grappling, but he has a lot of size. The dude is huge for any division, super long. So I want to know if RDA can contend against these guys in the welterweight division, and I think Neil Magny would be a great place for him to start. A couple of you are saying Alfredo Lara, and Amon Scott are saying RDA versus the winner of Gunnar Nelson versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. Oh, man. I'd like to see him against Nelson, but I don't want to see him against Santiago Ponzinibbio. And that's just because, I don't know. I don't like the stylistic matchup of that. I'm going to stick with my guns with Neil Magny, but I do like the idea of Gunnar Nelson versus RDA. Derek Manning says, I want to know when you think... Oh, wait, no, I missed the question. Okay. I want to get Adam Warren here. He says, Brian, what round does Conor get knocked out via body shot from Mayweather? Can you imagine Mayweather trading in legacy and just loses so he can make double, like a 400-meter on a rematch, of which he obviously wins? Trilogy would happen then, of course, and then people will eat it up. Yeah, I thought about that, but I saw a post today. It was talking about Conor McGregor is concerned with his health, and you knew he was concerned with his health that time when he said, I'm retiring young, thanks for the cheese, catch yous later. It was right at, he was in contract negotiations and he didn't want to go to a press conference, right? But it was right after he watched a guy die in the octagon. He's concerned with his health. He's going to make $100 million for that fight, and he'll probably never do it again, win or lose. So I don't think anybody's going to be taking dives. Derek Manning says he wants to know when you think Ngannou is going to get the fight and finally get a shot at the belt. I honestly think the heavyweight division is only Francis and Stipe. I kind of want to see Francis Ngannou versus Mark the Super Samoan Hunt. I think that'd be fun. We thought that Mark Hunt's chin was dwindling a little bit, but it's not. I thought he didn't take any flush shots from Derek Lewis, but he did. You look at the pictures from, I believe it's Esther Lin from MMA Fighting. You look at those pictures, and he took some flush ones on the cheekbone and never looked phased at all. A lot of people like to talk about how Francis got he got stiff-legged when he got jabbed by Curtis Razor Blades. If he really is chinny like that, Mark Hunt might be able to tell us the truth about that. So I think that Ngannou needs another fight before he gets a title shot, and maybe Mark Hunt is the one to do that. Okay, let's keep moving down on this fight card. Anyway, did I say Dos Anjos got a 30-27? Moving down, Takanori, the Fireball Kid Gomi versus John, the Super Saiyan Tuck. This was interesting. I thought Tuck was going to knock Gomi out. I was wrong. Tuck won via submission. But what the most fun part about this fight was, they come to the front, they exchange, some combinations, getting a feel on each other, and Tuck threw a left front kick to Gomi's liver. How often in mixed martial arts have you seen somebody throw a front kick to the liver? And he said that he figured Gomi was going to be coming out in a southpaw stance, so his liver would be out front. Southpaw, your liver's on your right side, underneath your ribs toward the front there. And he said he'd been practicing front kicking his liver. He said that. Wow, what game planning and what accuracy by John Tuck. Fucking amazing. Incredible. What also makes that more interesting is Takanori Gomi is known for loving alcohol, so he might have a weak liver, similar to Donald Cerrone. So incredible game planning by John Tuck, incredible implementation of the game plan, and phenomenal accuracy for that front kick to the liver. Then, of course, Gomi kind of turtled up. John Tuck took his back, rear naked choke, bam, over. In the very first round, I believe, well, I can just look. It was at 1 minute and 12 seconds. That is the fourth fight in a row where Takanori, that was 3, this is 4. Fourth fight in a row where Takanori has been finished in the first 3 minutes. His longest fight in the last 4 went 2:37, and that was a TKO loss to Joe Lozon. Wow. If he doesn't retire, that is a shame. Obviously, the UFC is going to cut him. But if he decides to go to Ryzen or Risen or whatever, I think that is a mistake. That's just a gross mistake. Tuck, we can't really take anything from Tuck's performance here because, Gomi's just utterly and completely shot. So, congratulations on the win, John Tuck, but it means nothing. It means less than nothing. You beat up a punching bag. Alfredo Lara says, Gomi versus Sanchez 2 and call it a career for both. No, both just retire. Just quit. Go coach or something, both of them. Cyril, the Silverback Asker versus Walt, Big Ticket Harris. Harris dropped Asker with a right hook, left straight combination, fighting out of the southpaw stance. Then got into the ground, vicious elbows from top position, and got a TKO finish. Not a lot to say about the fight. Got a TKO finish at 1:44 of round number 1. Wow. Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres versus Rolando D. This fight was pretty fun. Came out, Caceres was being real flowy, was attacking with a lot of combinations, just loving being out there. And in the first round, Caceres hit Rolando with a 1-2 out of the southpaw stance, and his left straight caught D on the right eye. That made his eye swell up, and then he immediately started rubbing it. In between rounds, I don't know if the doctor checked it. I forgot to pay attention to that. But at the beginning of the round, number 2, Rolando came out, and he's like, hey, referee, something's fucked up with my eye. And the ref's like, dude, fight. What are you doing, bro? Then, a little bit later, he wasn't opening his eye. Referee brought in the doctor, and the doctor's like, nope, dude can see out of it, so let him continue fighting. Let him continue fighting. And then in between round 2 and 3, D was still not opening his eye, and the ref was like, come here, doctor. And he's like, so the dude can see? And the doctor's like, yeah, man, he can see. And he's like, but he's not opening his eye. And the doctor's like, yeah, I don't know. He's not opening his eye. Referee's like, we're stopping the fight. Bam, fight over. D was upset. Caceres was kind of upset that he didn't keep... Caceres obviously likes showcasing his art. And he was upset that he didn't have 5 more minutes to showcase his art. I believe that Caceres probably would have got a finish because he was just being so flowy in there. Oh, he dropped D with a left straight in the first round, took his back, but D showed really good rear naked choke defense. I did not predict that D was going to have any rear naked choke defense whatsoever, and Caceres, I mentioned it, he helps coach jiu-jitsu at the MMA lab, so for him to not get a finish on D with that rear naked choke shows some really good skill for D, and I think D has really good striking. He showed off some good grappling today, and I think that he could do some decent things in the UFC, but tonight just wasn't his night. And Caceres, I'm just happy to see him perform. And he's a guy, like everybody was saying earlier, that we don't want to see people just fight fun fights. Fuck that. I do want to see just fun fights. Caceres is never going to be a champion. He's never going to even contend for a belt. He's never even going to get close. But the guy's super fun to watch. Love his style, love his flowiness, love his attitude. After the fight was over, he said that he just wants to continue sharpening himself as a human weapon. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's fun. It's really fun to watch. He's got a flashy style. He's got a fun attitude. I like his Bruce Leroy gimmick. Fun dude to watch. I just want to see him in exciting action-packed fights. Alfredo Lara says versus Lobov. Lobov, for some reason, I think is going to keep getting big fights. Well, I know the reason. I mean, the reason's obvious to all of us, right? It's Conor McGregor. He's going to continue to get big fights. But, so I don't think he's going to get Caceres unless maybe they put Lobov versus Caceres in a main event. And Warren doesn't like Lobov. Adam Warren doesn't. I do. I enjoy watching him fight. He's got a fun style. He has a little bit of the Conor gimmick wearing off on him. And look, man, he was like a plus 1,000 underdog against Cub Swanson and then put on a decent performance. Didn't he win one round against Cub Swanson? I think he's just a fun guy to watch too. So yes, Alfredo, I would watch him versus Alex Caceres. But that's a meaningless fight. Let's put it as a co-main event to a Fight Night card. Justin Tank Scoggins versus Ulka Yuta Sasaki. Oh man, let's all pour a little out for Justin Scoggins. Man, what are you doing, man? So on the feet, Scoggins was lighting Sasaki up. Just lighten him up, man. He hurt Sasaki to the body in the first round. Second round comes out, he threw a spinning back kick to Sasaki's body, hunched him over, and was just tuning him up on the feet. Right away, oh gosh. And at the very beginning, 10 seconds into the round, Scoggins grabbed Sasaki and took him to Suplex City, baby. Dropped him right on his shoulders. Sasaki was... Every time that happens, I'm like, bro, tuck your head. You're about to get spiked on your melon, and you're never going to walk again. So I was glad Sasaki tucked it in, landed on his shoulder, but amazing suplex from Scoggins. Then, right after that, Scoggins barely missed with a spinning hook kick, and then he landed a 1-2 from southpaw, and the straight left dropped Sasaki. Amazing performance from Scoggins right there. Round number 2 comes out, and that's when Scoggins dropped him with a spinning back kick to the body. And then he followed him to the ground, where he could have just kept the fight standing, where he was just murdering him with kicks from a distance. Followed him to the ground. Sasaki made a mad scramble happen, was able to snag Scoggins' back, and as soon as he got the back, like not 5 seconds later, like here's the back, here's the tap, because he rear naked choked Scoggins immediately after getting the back. Wow, incredible stuff from Sasaki, but a lot of people are billing it as a terrible performance from Justin Scoggins, and he has a lapse in fight IQ. But, I mean, that is true. It's true. He shouldn't have followed him to the ground. His corner was screaming for him to get back up and not follow Sasaki to the ground. So, it was bad on Scoggins for that. But also, at the same time, on the flip side, let's give some praise to Sasaki. Amazing scrambling ability, and the guy must have just the nastiest rear naked choke ability in the history of time. Or one of them, because, like I said, as soon as he got the body triangle, took his back, body triangle, choke, over. 5 seconds or less. Wow, incredible stuff. And it was, they were saying that it was kind of across Scoggins' chin. Off memory, I think it was definitely across his throat, and it looked pretty damn deep. Big stuff. Sasaki versus Smolka. Alfredo coming in again with the fight fixins. I like it. Sasaki versus Smolka. Yep, Battle of the S's again. Who would you pick? I'd pick Sasaki because of their career trajectories. Sasaki looked fucking incredible in his loss to Wilson Hayes, just going up and up. Now he beat Scoggins. Here's an up and up. Smolka, going downhill, man. I would pick Sasaki in that, and I like the matchup. Billy Johnson, what's up? Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. Marcus Zachary says he saw the KO by Holly, and it was hilarious. What else did he miss? I'll remind you guys again, you can subscribe to this show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Player FM, all that stuff, and you can hear the audio only, and we'll go over that. I will have it up there about an hour after I click off to get done with this. So there is that. I also put it on YouTube, so subscribe to MMA Mania on YouTube. Moving down, Lee the Leech Jingliang versus Frank Camacho. This fight went exactly how everyone thought it was going to go. 1 second. Scoggins versus Elliott. Love it. Sasaki versus Pettis. Hate it. Pettis is actually like in the running for a title shot right now. Can you believe that shit? Yeah. Demetrius Johnson actually asked for Pettis over Borg for his next title defense because Pettis has a bigger name than Borg. So Pettis is right there with a title fight. Sasaki is not. So, well, let's look at the rankings here. Let's just pull them up. Sorry, I'm deviating from the plan, but let's just look at the flyweight rankings. Man, Ben Wen would be a fun fight, but I think Ben is like real close to getting a title shot too. How about this? Sasaki somehow unranked? Sasaki is fucking unranked? Kidding me. Kidding me. Okay, let's let Sasaki take Dustin. No. Let's let Sasaki take John Moraga's number 10 place in flyweight. Sasaki versus Moraga. I'm gonna tweet it. There, I did it. Sasaki versus Moraga, please. I like it. I think that Sasaki would win that fight. It would get him a top 10 ranking, or at least a top 15 ranking, and there we go. All right, moving down. And if I haven't already, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you all. From the bottom of my heart, I love it. I love hanging out with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Lee the Leech Jingliang versus Frank Camacho. Coming back to this. It's almost exactly how everyone thought it was going to go. Frank Camacho has a really powerful right hand. The Leech starts slow, super hittable. Frank was teeing off on Lee early with just a jab, overhand right, jab right straight, left hook. Almost everything was landing on Lee, the Leech. But nothing was putting him down. He was wobbled. He would just get the clinch, regain his composure. The guy is very, very enduranced. His recovering ability is faster than lightning. You don't put him out cold, and yeah, he's coming back, and he came back in the early on in the fight. Even when Frank was teeing off on Lee's face, Lee was hitting him with a right outside low kick on the outside of Frank Camacho's left leg. And as the fight went on, that paid more and more dividends. More and more dividends. Frank would, every time he'd hit him, Frank would turn into Robbie Lawler, who would go, ah! And he's all bald, and he's got the similar face, and he'd put his hands out wide and just scream. But Lee stayed composed every time he did that, and he'd just go ahead and throw a right straight at his face and land it. Left, right, straight. So as the fight went on, Lee got more and more composed, and after the first 4 minutes or so, Frank, his cardio dwindled, and it seemed like, kind of like people talk about Henrique da Silva, Frankenstein. No, not Henrique da Silva. What's his name? He just lost last week to Ion Cutelaba. Anyway, it's like you have to hit him to get him going. So Frank hit him like 6 times, and the dude just got going. Instead of calling him the Leech, let's call him like, I don't know, something that means he gets better as the fight goes on. Somebody tell me about how that's going in the comments. Kwak versus Russell Doan. Early on, Kwak caught a kick, took Russell down, was unable to even follow him into the guard because Russell was kicking him off so good. Fight came back to the feet. Doan showed a shit ton of patience. Kwak was, trying to throw a lot of combinations, was unable to land anything of significance. Russell showed really good defense, and then Doan landed a left high kick, followed by snagging the plum clinch, landed a knee to Kwak's body, and then as Kwak pulled away, Doan landed a right straight, then a quick flurry landed a right high kick, and then a left hook, and another right straight that buckled Kwak, sent him to the canvas, and Russell Doan ended a 4-fight losing streak in devastating fashion to get a first round KO at 4:09 of that round. Very impressive performance from Russell Doan. What's next for him? I don't really know. I thought they could have cut him after 4 losses in a row, so there's that. Naoki Inoue versus Carl's John Thomas, De Thomas, Golden Boy. This fight was pretty fun. It was a grappling affair. De Thomas was stronger with his grappling. He was able to get takedowns on Inoue, but Inoue so slick and so technical with his submission ability and with his jiu-jitsu. As soon as he'd get taken down, he'd reverse position, maybe get Carlos de Thomas in like a triangle, get on top, mounted triangle, couldn't finish it. Armbar attempt, couldn't finish it. Rear naked choke, couldn't finish it. And that was basically the story of the whole fight. I think Inoue is a super young dude. Look forward to him being pretty good in the future. But dude needs to add some strength. So I don't know if he can add some strength while staying at flyweight, but it just seemed like he would get all of these incredibly advantageous positions. He would get there sitting on a armbar, have his hands clasped, and just couldn't pull the Tomas's grip apart with his entire body. So he's got his grip there on the arm, he's got the leverage, he's got his whole body, and he couldn't pull Carlos de Tomas's grip apart. Maybe Carlos de Tomas has some ungodly amount of strength, just unworldly amounts of strength in his grip, de Tomas does. I really think that it's a case of Inoue just needs to put on some strength. Young dude, physically fit, but he definitely needs to work on some strength and conditioning. Impressive performance, though. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the future. Ji Yeon Kim versus Lucy Pudilova. Fun fight to kick off the night. Basically, Pudilova was able to keep the range on Kim and land a few more strikes. Let's look at the stats. And I didn't write any notes for this one, so and it happened so long ago. Wow, strikes were super close. Pudilova 69, Kim 65. First round tied on significant and total. Second round, Kim actually landed more. Third round, Pudilova landed more. Wow, what an incredibly close fight. I scored it for Pudilova partially because I picked her to win, but Kim, she throws pretty heavy, and she was getting some hooks on Pudilova's face, and coming in, I thought that Kim was mostly just going to throw hands. She threw quite a few kicks as well, and that was impressive. I'm excited to watch both women fight again. I'm sure we won't see Kim until we go back to Asia, somewhere in Asia. I mean, it's a big place, I know, but until we go there again, she probably won't fight in the UFC again, but I'm excited to see her. And Pudilova, she's got a fun style. Good stuff there. So that brings us toward the end of the fight card, or that is the end of the fight card. Now let's give out my performance bonuses. I mean, shit. You have to give the preacher's daughter, Holly Holm, a extra $50K for landing a question mark kick that sent Bethe Correia into the nether realm. That was incredible. An extra $50K goes there. Who gets the other $50Ks? What was fight of the night? There wasn't really a fight of the night. Sasaki, I think Sasaki deserves a $50K. Yes. Oh, my WTF of the card. I forgot. Here it is, guys. Walt, the big ticket Harris, after he finished Cyril Asker in the first round, he used his mic time to beg for a $50,000 bonus. I mean, I get it, man. And this isn't a WTF for Walt Harris. The WTF is going to the UFC. Pay these people more. Give everyone an extra $10,000 if they get a finish or something like that, so that we don't have fighters in the octagon afterward begging for an extra $50K. It's not a good look. So my WTF is, what the fuck? We're begging for bonuses still? 2017? We're begging for bonuses? WTF. But anyway, I think Walt Harris gets an extra $50K. And, oh, wait, nope. Holly Holm, Sasaki are getting performance bonuses, and fight of the night is going to Li Jingliang, the Leech, versus Frank Camacho. Quickly, let's check the Twitter machine to see what the real bonuses were. Sorry, guys, a little bit of dead air. Fight of the night, Li Jingliang versus Frank Camacho. Performance bonuses, Sasaki versus Holm. Shasha! Fucking nailed it. Look at that. Forgot to give out the finishing results on MMA Mania's UFC Pick'em at the top of the show. Per this event, the MMA Machine went 11 for 12, got first place. Wow, he was a machine tonight. Wesley Riddle was in second place, 10 for 12. Third place, Franker, 10 for 12. Fourth place, Eightfold Path, 10 for 12. Fifth place was tied between Benjamin H. 0102, 9 for 12. Oh, and he was tied with Jack Mooney, who was 10 for 12, but they somehow got the same amount of points because Benjamin got 5 perfect. Wow, good job for those top 5. If you're wondering where I finished, it was in 8th place, got 9 for 12, 24-35. I thought I changed Covington to get a decision victory at the last minute, but I must have left Kim. And if you've been here the whole time and you noticed that I skipped over Dong Young Kim, the stun gun versus Chaos Colby Covington, I skipped it on purpose. I'm not going to talk about it. I think Colby Covington is one of the most boring fighters to ever grace the octagon. You might disagree with me, but I just hate his fighting style. I hate it. It sucks. I refuse to talk about him any more than that. So that's the end of the show, guys. Post-fight letter grade for me was a C from A to F. Decent night of fights or morning. Again, I appreciate you all for being here. Please like my Facebook page. Please subscribe to MMA Mania on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever that is that you would like to listen to the audio. I will be back on Monday evening doing episode number 12 of Fight Nerds, and I hope to do my film study today and Sunday to talk about the next event, which is happening next Sunday, which is UFC Fight Night 112 or hashtag UFC Oklahoma City. It's probably going to be UFC OKC. Headlined by Michael Maverick Chiesa and Kevin the Motown Phenom Lee. So we'll be back to talk about that fight card. Well, I'll be on Monday. Hopefully I can give out my picks for every single one of the fights like I did last week. If you want to get in on those, I will be here on the Facebook page to do it live, and then I will put it on YouTube afterward, and it'll also be on all of the podcast feed places. So quick picks: Chiesa, I think he'll beat Lee, and Tim the Barbarian Bosch versus Johnny Big Rig Hendricks. I'm going to be picking the Big Rig. So once again, thanks for hanging out, guys, and I will see you on Monday night for Fight Nerds. Namaste.